In the morning when I rise, give me Jesus.
Good morning. Well, today we talk about the crucifixion of Jesus. Today's Wednesday, and Friday is the day that we remember his execution. But let's start talking about it today. We're in Mark chapter 15, and I'm going to read verses 22 through 26, and they say this. Then they brought Jesus to the place of Golgotha, which is translated place of the skull. And they tried to give him wine mixed with myrrh, but he didn't take it. And they crucified him, divided up his garments among themselves, casting lots for them to decide what each man should take. It was the third hour when they crucified Jesus, and the inscription of the charge against him was, get this is what he's guilty of, the King of the Jews. And indeed, he was King of the Jews and King of the Gentiles and King of you and me. Jesus is the King of all kings. And so he was not guilty of anything. And yet, you remember how we've watched this thing unfold. He was arrested in a violent way. He was brought before religious leaders who should have recognized him as Messiah. They were supposed to be looking for Messiah to come, but instead they trumped up charges against him, and they brought in folks to testify against him, false testimony that didn't even hang together. And then they dragged him before Pilate. Pilate, the guy that could have done the right thing and released Jesus, but he didn't. He released a murderer, Barabbas, instead. And then Jesus was beaten to a pulp. It says in scripture that you couldn't even recognize him as a human being. And they put a purple robe on him and a crown of thorns. They beat that thing into his head so that the thorns would pierce his head. He had blood running down his head. And they were bowing before him, King of the Jews, mocking him. He didn't deserve any of that. And then they dragged him up a hill to Golgotha. He couldn't even carry his cross. He was so weak. And so they had a guy help him do that. And then they nailed him to the cross, and he hung there until he died. How should we look at all this? Well, for me, real Christianity is laid out in Hebrews chapter 12. It starts out talking about let's behave in an appropriate way. It says that in verse 1. Therefore, since we have so great a cloud of witnesses surrounding us, let us also lay aside every encumbrance and every sin which so easily entangles us, and let us run with endurance the race that is set before us. That's why you want to get rid of sin. That's why behavior matters, because it will entangle you. It will open you up to the schemes of the enemy. And so, how are we victorious in that? Here we are, verse 2. This is normal Christianity, fixing our eyes on Jesus, the author and the perfecter of our faith. We believe on him because of him, and he sustains us, who for the joy set before him. Now that joy is you and me. Why did he go to the cross? Because he wants you and me to be redeemed into intimate, loving relationship with him. He despised the shame and he endured the cross. And now he's sat down at the right hand of the throne of God. See, all that shame, such a horrible death, he did it on our behalf. And now he sat down with the Father. You consider him who has endured such hostility at the hands of sinners against him, so that you will not grow weary and lose heart. We walk boldly, strong in our testimony, because we recognize what Jesus did to set us free. Oh, God bless you who appreciates the sacrifice of Jesus on your behalf. We'll talk some more about the cross when we get together tomorrow. Come join us. I'll see you
Give
then.
me Jesus. Give me Jesus.